Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back for another Rage video where today, ladies and gentlemen, it is another national anthem reaction video here today. Again, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter one because, well, something of a bit of a theme because I've recorded quite a lot of stuff today already is that quite a lot of the anthems we've chosen are actually a little bit short. Not because, just because it just sort of like came about that way more than anything. However, unlike some of the others we've talked about today, Cuba is one of the ones that actually I do have a bit of context for because I have actually been to Havana before. And as you can see right here, Cuba is a small island nation centered between Florida. You got the US over here with Florida peaking at the bottom, the Bahamas, Haiti, Jamaica. I was going to say the Dominican Republic, but Haiti is sort of more in front, more closer to Cuba that way. I know that I think it's the Cayman Islands are somewhere around. It could be more closer to Mexico than probably to Jamaica. I should have, because I've been to Jamaica, Mexico, the Cayman Islands, Cuba, and all the way back to Jamaica again. It was a wild 2-week cruise holiday in down here all the way back in Christmas of 2015, and I must say, with all this said and done, Havana is, without any question of a doubt, probably one of the most beautiful cities I've ever been to in my life. And it's not particularly difficult to see why. And it was the very first time I had ever really been in a city in my entire life that seemed to almost exist in the past. It's first of all, some of the pictures, I think I've gone on a separate hard drive, but all of the pictures I took reflect the idea that Havana, at the very least, has more colorful buildings than any other city I've ever seen on Earth. All the cars that are in Cuba, because of a very long history about Cuba's relationship to the US and probably to the rest of the North Americas for that matter. So Nicaragua and Mexico and Jamaica for that matter. There's going to be a larger discussion about that sort of thing when the subject comes, because it runs into several key figures about like Cuba's war for independence, the colonialization, and from the Spanish, and then of course things like the slave trade. There are some very things that are obviously going to need quite a lot of preparation for, because it's a very complexing sort of case, and it's not really the sort of thing that you could just solve in one video or even talk about. But basically, nearly every single car we ever saw from here, from ancient Chryslers or Buicks for that matter, or almost all of them from either 1960 or 1970. And it was only stuff like this, which I think is meant to be just some remodeled like Lancia or something like that. They were perhaps the only real modern cars we ever saw when we were in Havana. Everything was basically like this. Parliament, we even passed through Parliament at one point, and even though it was just white, and but it almost seemed like one of those buildings that it was like compromised of basically nothing but steps. But even that looked kind of beautiful in its own way, and I think it makes it even more beautiful in a very aesthetic sort of sense, because it stands out in amongst everything else. And I know again, without having to go over literally every single reason why, Havana at the very least, and I would only, since I've only been to Havana myself, and I've not been anywhere else in Cuba for that matter, so I wouldn't know exactly what the situation's in, like sort of Guatemala, which is in the eastern part of the country, or what the Ao de la Llavendo would be like either, because again, Havana is just that, and to be honest, I don't even think it would take necessarily very long to go across, each county. I think it would take maybe possibly like 3 hours to go from all the way here from Pino de Rio all the way down to Baracoa. I don't even think that. Oh, here are the Cayman Islands right here. So it's not even that far away from Cuba in general. So yes, there's actually take this from my personal view, ladies and gentlemen. If you have like several thousands of pounds to go as far afield as Cuba, it is absolutely worth it, because look, just views like this. It's clean. The sky is always blue. It is scorching even in Christmas time. In fact, the Caribbean is like, again, one of those places. It's I would recommend this any day to go there. And I mean, here it is. That's basically Parliament right there. And look how clean everything is. And just, again, look how it stands out as well. So, again, it's one of those things, which one's this? World Report 2020, human rights. And, of course, you get memorabilias of Che Guevara as well. And so what used to be their leader, who passed away in 2016. I know of him, but I just can't quite remember the names, unfortunately. So yeah, as far as just what a beautiful country it is, well, again, I would have to, if I ever go back to Cuba myself, and I probably will, I actually do have some ideas about why I definitely want to go back to Cuba. But it's also because just, well, to be honest, I've been stuck here for the last like nearly 8 years and all that, and if I'm gonna go like on vacation at all, then it may as well be somewhere that I really want to get away to, not just because of the scenery and stuff like that. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we now got to move on to their national anthem, and if you guys want to check out the original video for yourselves, links will all be in the descriptions down below. Although there are some things I do want to go over a little bit just before we get started. So, El Himno de Bayamo, also known as the Bayamo Anthem, is the national anthem of Cuba. It was first performed in 1868 during the Battle of Bayamo, Horacio Ferguedo, who took part in this battle, wrote and composed the song and the melody, also called La Bayamosa, or the Bayamo song, composed by Figueroa in 1867. So it's again sort of like a little bit like La Marseillaise, and how it was composed during a time of war and conflict. So that's, even though it's only going to be roughly about a minute long, it'll be interesting to see what exactly can become during the annals of war. So with that being said, if you guys want to check out the original video for yourselves, links will all be in the description down below. And please rise for the national anthem of Cuba. Just a little bit more. Why is it I had it so low? I don't understand. And unfortunately, yes, it seems as though literally, gracias, por favor. it is strange as well that it would literally, because there's meant to be like 3 verses into this, and for some reason it only ever included the first. So hopefully, if I come when I come to do the translation for this, we'll probably see if we could do one with the 3 verses. But in terms of, again, like I said, it does reflect the ideas of what could be written during times of war, and how it really does reflect the idea that slavery means dying without cause. And to borrow one of the best lines in Full Metal Jacket, Marines are not permitted to die without permission. And I quite like that. It's again, the nobility of dying for something greater than oneself is something that's kind of recurring in quite a lot of songs about war, and it's something that's also quite a lot current in national anthems that seem to be written during times of war. And again, by the time we come to talk about the overall history of Bayamo or Cuba generally, I would like to actually know if this is more specifically talking about like the actual state or the county of Bayamo of Cuba, or it's just what it's referred to as previously. It'll be interesting to find this out, and certainly to talk a lot bit more than just about what I got up to when I was on vacation when I was 17. But with all that being said and done, I hope all of you guys have enjoyed this reaction video to La Bayamese by the national anthem of Cuba. Please make sure to leave all your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below and what you guys felt of Cuba's national anthem for yourselves. And I cannot wait to see you guys again in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye for now.
Champ, glad you could make it to the end of the video. I'm super glad you cared this much. If you could do me a great favor and like this video and subscribe to my guy right here. He didn't want to say it himself because he knows I say it way better. Till next time. Mwah!